The alien bride. The hall was silent when he walked in, every eye fixed on him, and on the woman who stood beside him. She was not human, anyone could see that. Her skin carried a faint silver glow. Her eyes were larger than human eyes, glowing softly like two moons. Her hair shimmered in strange colors, shifting with the light. Some whispered in fear, some whispered in wonder, but no one could look away. The human man, tall and calm, stood with pride. He held her hand as if daring anyone to challenge him. He had chosen her not just as a partner, not just as a friend, but as his bride, his wife. The crowd of humans shifted uneasily. Whispers grew louder. Some called it madness, some called it betrayal. And yet there was something unshakable in his stance. He loved her, and nothing would move him from this path. The ceremony began. The human priest hesitated when he saw her face. His lips trembled as he read the vows. The alien bride tilted her head in confusion. She did not understand all the human words, but she understood his voice. She understood the way he looked at her, the way his hand never let go of hers. When the vow was finished, silence filled the room again. Then came the moment, the kiss. It was gentle, soft, and the hall gasped as if history had just changed in front of them. For him, it was not about history. It was about love. But for the galaxy, it was something much bigger. After the ceremony, when they stepped outside, the alien bride squinted at the bright Earth sun. It was too sharp, too hot. She covered her face with her hands. The human husband quickly placed a light cloth around her head, protecting her. "Earth is different," he whispered softly to her. "But don't worry, I will guide you," she smiled. Though her smile was weak, the air felt heavy in her lungs. The gravity pressed down on her. Her body struggled with each step, but she walked beside him, her hand still in his. The crowd outside was not welcoming. People stared, some with open hate, some with curiosity. A child tugged his mother's arm and pointed, asking, "Is she dangerous?" The mother quickly pulled the child away. They walked through the streets together, her strange beauty glowing against the dull gray buildings. People followed them with their eyes, phones recorded, voices whispered. The news spread faster than fire. A human married an alien. A man took her as his bride. Inside their small home, she touched the walls, the floor, the furniture. Everything felt strange to her. The materials were too rough, the colors too dull. She sat on the bed, her body trembling. She was not used to the thick earth gravity, not used to the heavy pull that pressed her down. He sat beside her, holding her hand again. "It will take time," he said gently. "You will learn. You will grow stronger here." Her eyes filled with tears, but she nodded. She trusted him. She believed in his words. Days passed, each one harder than the last. The food of earth burned her throat. Her stomach twisted in pain. The water tasted heavy with minerals that made her cough. The air filled her chest with fire. She tried to smile for him. She tried to hide her struggle. But at night he saw her curled in pain. Her silver skin dimmed, her glow fading. Neighbors whispered louder now. "She will die here," some said. "She does not belong." Others muttered, "He is a fool for bringing her." But he ignored them. Every morning he carried water to her. Every evening he searched for food she could eat. Every night he held her when she shivered. Yet still fear grew inside her heart. One night she whispered, "Maybe I should not stay here. Maybe I should return to my world." He shook his head, his voice firm. "No, you are my wife, you are my life. If earth is hard, then we will face it together." Her heart warmed at his words, but her body continued to weaken. One afternoon, as they walked through the market, she suddenly collapsed, her legs unable to hold her. The people gasped, some rushed back in fear. Others pulled out their phones to record. Her body lay trembling on the ground, her glow flickering faintly. He dropped to his knees, lifting her in his arms. "Stay with me," he shouted, his voice breaking. The market fell silent, all eyes on them, whispers turning into a storm. "The alien bride cannot survive Earth," someone said loudly. "She is not meant for this world." But as he held her close, his eyes burning with fury and love, he made a silent promise he would not let her go. Not to death, not to fear, not to the cold whispers of the crowd. The galaxy might watch and judge, but for him, this was not a symbol. This was not politics, this was not history. This was his wife, his bride, and he would fight the world itself to keep her alive. And so the story of the alien bride on Earth began, not with comfort, not with peace, but with struggle, whispers and doubt. A test of love in a world that did not want her. But neither of them knew that this love, fragile and tested, would soon shake not just their street, not just their city, but the stars themselves. Struggle on Earth, the news spread like wildfire. The image of a human carrying his alien bride through the crowded market was on every screen. Every feed, every whisper, some laughed. Calling it foolishness, some cursed, saying he had brought danger into their city. Others stared in silence, unsure whether to admire his courage or fear his choice. But for the bride, it was not about news. It was about survival. Her body fought every day against the world around her. The air of Earth pressed heavy on her chest. The food of humans turned her stomach. Even the bright sun cut into her eyes like knives. Inside their small home, she sat by the window, staring at the endless sky. "Your world is beautiful," she whispered softly, "but it is not gentle to me." He stood beside her, his hand resting on her shoulder, his voice firm. "Then I will teach the world to be gentle. I will fight for you if I must, but outside..." Whispers grew sharper. Groups gathered in the streets, voices filled with fear and hate. "She will bring sickness," they said. "She will take our resources. She will never belong." One night, stones struck their door. Angry voices shouted, "Send her back to where she came from." The alien bride trembled, pressing against her husband's chest, her silver glow dimming with fear. But he stood tall at the window, his voice booming, "She is my wife. If you want her gone, you will face me first." The mob faded into the shadows, but their hate lingered in the air like poison. The next morning, officials came, scientists dressed in white coats. They smiled politely, but their eyes carried hunger. "We only wish to help her," they said. "We need to study her. Maybe we can find a cure for her weakness." The husband narrowed his eyes. "She is not a specimen. She is not an experiment. She is my wife," but the officials pushed, their voices soft, yet their words sharp. "If she cannot survive here, then she will die. Let us take her." "For her own good." The alien bride shook her head, her voice weak but clear. "I trust only him," she said, clutching his arm, her eyes glowing faintly. "I will not go with you." The officials left, but their warning echoed in the air. "You cannot protect her forever. Not from this world, not from us." Days turned darker. The alien bride grew thinner, her body weaker, yet her heart stronger. She tried to learn Earth's ways. She drank water in slow sips, ate food in tiny bites, walked short steps in the garden to test her strength. Sometimes she smiled, small but real, and her husband's heart lifted. But at night he saw her cry in silence, whispering in her alien tongue, words he could not understand but felt deep in his soul. And then came the breaking point. One evening as the sun set, neighbors gathered again, louder this time, bolder, carrying signs and torches, their voices sharp. "She does not belong. She will destroy us." The alien bride stood at the window, her eyes wide with sorrow. "Why do they hate me?" she whispered. "I never harmed them. I only came for love." He pulled her close, his voice steady though his heart raged. "Because they fear what they do not understand. But I will not let their fear take you from me." The crowd outside grew restless, some threw rocks, shattering glass. The sound of breaking windows filled the air. The husband stepped outside. His fist clenched, his voice thundered. "You call yourselves human, yet you act like beasts. You will not touch her. You will not take her. I will protect her with my life." For a moment the crowd fell silent, his rage striking them harder than their own fear. But just as the mob began to retreat, another shadow arrived. Government soldiers, armored and armed, their leader stepping forward. By order of the council, the alien female must be taken. For the safety of the people, the husband's heart froze. The bride gasped, clutching his arm tighter. He looked at her, then at the soldiers, then at the crowd watching with hungry eyes. His voice broke the silence. Strong and unyielding, "If you try to take her, you will start a war not between nations, but between love and fear." The soldiers hesitated, the crowd whispered. Tension filled the air like a storm waiting to break. The alien bride, weak yet brave, stepped forward, her glowing eyes meeting the soldiers, her voice trembling but clear. "I am not your enemy, I never was. I only wish to live with the one I love. If that is a crime, then Earth is crueler than I ever feared." Her words cut deeper than any weapon. Some in the crowd lowered their heads in shame, but others clenched their fists tighter, their fear turning into fury. The night ended with no blood, the soldiers retreating for now, but the warning was clear. Their love was no longer just a choice, it had become a battlefield. And in the silence that followed, the alien bride looked into her husband's eyes, her voice soft but filled with steel. "If Earth wishes to test us, then let it come, for I will not leave your side." He held her close, his heart burning with both fear and pride, knowing the true struggle was only beginning, the growing tension. The days that followed were not peaceful. Even though the soldiers had left, their shadow remained over the small house. Neighbors no longer whispered from afar. They now spoke openly, their voices bitter. "She is a danger to all of us," they said. "The government must act or we will." Inside the house, the alien bride sat near the fire, her body weak but her spirit burning brighter. She looked at her husband, her silver eyes glowing faintly. "They do not see me as a wife, they see me as a threat." He held her hand firmly, his jaw set. "Then let them see what love can endure. They will not break us," but he knew the danger was growing. Every night he watched strange lights in the distance, drones hovering above their roof. Men watching from the shadows, the officials returned. Not with smiles this time, but with orders. Their leader spoke coldly. "If she cannot adapt, then she must be moved to a controlled facility. Your refusal is against the law." The husband stood tall, his eyes blazing. "You call it a facility, but I call it a cage. She will never go," the officials warned him. "Do not resist or you will face consequences." Then they left, leaving a silence heavier than before. The alien bride touched his face gently, her voice trembling. "I do not want you to suffer because of me." But he shook his head, his voice sharp. "You are not my burden. You are my strength. They cannot take you. Not while I still breathe." The tension grew not only outside, but inside her own body. Her alien biology fought against Earth's weight. Each step was a battle, each breath a struggle. Yet she refused to surrender. She practiced every day, walking further, breathing deeper, eating little by little. Her body shivered in pain, but her will was iron. "If Earth wants me to break, then I will fight it too," she whispered, her voice full of quiet fire. One evening, as the stars lit the sky, the mob returned, louder, larger, angrier. Torches burned, voices roared. "Hand her over. She does not belong." The husband stepped outside, but this time, the alien bride followed him, her steps weak but steady, her silver glow cutting through the night. The crowd gasped, some in fear, some in rage. She raised her voice, trembling but strong. "You hate me because I am different. But I never harmed you. I only loved him. Is love now a crime on Earth?" Her words silenced some, but others shouted louder. "It is not about love, it is about survival. You are poison here!" The husband raised his fist, his voice booming like thunder. "Then call me poison too, because I will never leave her. If you want her, you must take me first." The mob pressed forward, the air thick with violence, but before they could strike, the soldiers appeared again. Weapons raised, their commander shouting, "Stand back!" By order of the council, this alien must be taken into custody. The crowd cheered, believing justice was being served. But the husband's heart turned to steel. He pulled her behind him, his voice cold. "You will not take her." The soldiers aimed their rifles, the glow of their weapons painting the night. The alien bride's body trembled, not from fear, but from something awakening inside her. Her skin glowed brighter, her eyes shone like twin stars. She stepped forward slowly, her voice echoing, "I am not weak. I am not your prisoner. If Earth will not accept me, then Earth will know my strength." The ground trembled faintly beneath her feet. Her glow pulsed like a heartbeat through the night. The crowd stumbled back in shock. Even the soldiers hesitated. Her husband stared in awe. Torn between fear and pride, for the first time he saw a glimpse of what she truly was. The commander barked an order. "Take her down before she becomes dangerous." But none moved. The glow was too strong, the air too heavy with her presence. She looked at her husband, her voice soft but clear. "I told you I would fight, and I will." "For us," he grasped her hand tightly, his voice fierce. "Then we fight together." The soldiers lowered their rifles slowly. Fear in their eyes, the mob melted into the shadows, their hate silenced by something they did not understand. The night ended in tense silence, the couple standing strong, the world around them shaken. But he knew this was only the beginning. Whispers would turn into orders, orders into hunts. The government would not stop, the galaxy would not stay quiet. Their love was no longer just theirs. It had become a spark, a challenge to fear itself. And sparks could either light hope or burn everything down. The choice. The city was not quiet after that night. Whispers spread faster than the wind. The mob had seen her glow. The soldiers had seen her strength, and the council had seen their control slip from their hands. News screens lit up everywhere. The alien bride resisted custody. Is humanity safe? A human man defies the council for his alien wife. For the couple, life became a cage without bars. Drones circled above their house. Soldiers watched from hidden posts. Neighbors no longer knocked on the door. They only watched in silence, waiting. Inside, the husband paced back and forth, his eyes sharp, his fists clenched. They will come again, stronger, more determined, and they will not stop. The alien bride sat quietly by the window, her silver glow faint, her voice calm but heavy. Then we must choose. Do we stay and wait for them, or do we leave before the storm breaks? His heart ached at her words. Leaving meant running forever. Staying meant fighting an entire world. Neither path was safe, but both were better than surrender. That night, as the city slept, he gathered supplies: food, water, a hidden weapon, a cloak to shield her glow. He whispered, "If they want to find us, they will have to search the ends of the earth." They left under the cover of darkness, slipping through alleys, crossing fields, moving toward the wilderness beyond the city. The alien bride stumbled often, her body still weak, but she pressed forward, her hand locked in his. Behind them, lights flickered in the sky, drones. Searching, tracking, hunting by morning, they found shelter in the ruins of an old outpost, walls cracked, roof broken but far from the eyes of the city. Here, for the first time in weeks, silence wrapped around them. He built a fire. She lay on the ground, her breathing heavy but steady. "You risked everything," she whispered softly, her eyes shimmering. "Your home, your life, your people, all for me." He looked at her, his voice low but firm. "I did not risk it. I chose it. I chose you." Her heart burned with both love and sorrow. She touched his hand, her voice trembling. "Then I must choose as well. I must find a way to survive here, not just for me, but for us in the wilderness, away from the poisoned whispers of the city." Her body began to change, slowly, painfully. She walked barefoot on the soil, breathing the fresh air of the forests, eating wild fruits that did not burn her, drinking water from deep springs that calmed her chest. Bit by bit she adapted, her glow no longer dim but steady, her steps no longer trembling but strong. The husband watched with pride but also with fear, for he knew the council would not let them vanish so easily. And he was right. One night, as the fire crackled, he heard the faint hum of engines, then the sharp beams of light cutting through the dark trees. Soldiers, dozens of them, armored and armed, closing in from all sides. The alien bride rose to her feet, her silver eyes glowing bright. "They have found us," she whispered, her voice calm but fierce. "And now the choice is here." He gripped his weapon tightly, his heart pounding. "We can run deeper, we can hide again." She shook her head, her glow spreading across the ruins like moonlight, her voice stronger than ever. "No, if we run forever, they will never stop. We must stand. We must show them who we are." His heart froze. He looked at her. The woman who had once collapsed in the streets, the woman who had once struggled to breathe Earth's air, now standing tall, her glow pulsing like fire. The soldiers advanced, their commander shouting, "Surrender the alien female or be destroyed." The husband's voice thundered back, "She is not yours to take." The soldiers raised their rifles, the air thick with tension, and for a moment, it felt like the entire galaxy held its breath. Then the alien bride stepped forward, her glow flaring like a star, her voice shaking the ruins. "I will not be your prisoner. I will not be your fear. I am not leaving him, not now, not ever." The soldiers faltered, some stepping back, blinded by her light. The husband stood beside her, his weapon raised, his voice a vow. "We choose to fight." The night erupted with power, her glow burning brighter than fire, his defiance unbreakable. Together they faced the storm, not as prey, not as fugitives, but as two souls bound by love stronger than fear. And in that moment, under the shattered sky, a choice was made, not just for them, but for Earth itself, because if they survived this night, nothing would ever be the same again. Tested love. The ruins shook as the soldiers closed in, their armored boots crushing the earth, their rifles glowing with deadly power. The commander raised his hand, his voice cold and final. "Seize the alien, kill the man if he resists." The husband pulled his wife close, his eyes blazing. "Stay behind me," he whispered, though his own heart thundered with fear. But the alien bride shook her head, her silver eyes burning brighter than ever before. "No, not behind you. Beside you." Her glow swelled until it painted the ruins in silver fire, her body no longer trembling as before. Earth's air now surged through her lungs like strength. Earth's gravity no longer bent her down. She had adapted, she had endured. The soldiers aimed, their fingers tightening on their triggers. But the husband stepped forward, his weapon ready, his voice booming. "You want her? Then you must go through me first." The commander sneered. "Then you will die." The first shots rang out, beams of energy cutting through the night. The husband ducked and fired back, each shot echoing with his rage. But the enemy was too many, their weapons too strong. Then the alien bride raised her hands, her glow exploding outward like a wave of light. The beams bent away from them, shattering harmlessly against the ruins. The soldiers staggered back, shielding their eyes. Whispers spread among them, fear in their voices. "She is not weak. She is powerful," the commander roared. "She is a threat. Bring her down." More weapons fired, but the glow grew stronger, brighter, alive. It was not just a shield, it was a force, a living storm of light that pulsed with her will. Her husband looked at her in awe, his chest tight with pride. "You're stronger than them all," he whispered. Her voice was steady, filled with both sorrow and fire. "Not stronger than them, stronger with you." Together they pushed forward, his rifle striking true, her glow deflecting every strike. Step by step they broke through the line of soldiers, but still the army pressed in, endless, relentless, until finally the commander shouted in fury, "If she will not be taken alive, then she will burn with this world." From the shadows rolled a weapon, a cannon, its hum deep and deadly, the ground vibrating with its charge. One strike from it could end them both. The husband froze, his body moving to shield her, but she caught his arm, her silver eyes meeting his. "No, this is my fight too." Before he could stop her, she stepped forward, her glow surging like a rising star. The cannon fired, a beam of pure destruction splitting the air. The light struck her glow, yet instead of breaking her, it fed her. The beam twisted, shattered, and then rebounded, tearing into the ground and scattering soldiers like dust. The ruins shook. The night sky lit like dawn. Silence followed, broken only by the crackle of fire and the pounding of two hearts. The soldiers lay scattered, the commander on his knees, his eyes wide with terror. What are you?" he whispered. The alien bride stood tall, her glow steady, her voice clear. "I am not your enemy. I am not your weapon. I am not your prisoner. I am his wife. That is all I ever wished to be." The commander could not answer. He lowered his weapon, and slowly, the soldiers retreated into the dark, leaving only silence behind. The husband fell to his knees, pulling her close, his arms trembling as he held her. "You could have died," he whispered, tears burning in his eyes. Her voice was soft, warm, unshaken. "So could you, but we chose together. And together we live." For the first time, he realized she was no longer fragile, no longer a stranger fighting to survive Earth. She was now part of it, part of him, part of their future. Word of their defiance spread across the world, and beyond the galaxy watched, stunned, some in fear, some in awe, but none could deny the truth. Love had turned weakness into strength. Days later, as they stood at the edge of the forest, the alien bride looked to the horizon, her silver eyes filled with hope. "Earth tested me, but I will not break. This world will be my home because you are here," he smiled, taking her hand, his voice steady. "And if the galaxy tests us next, then let it come. We will face it together." Their fingers locked, their hearts steady, their love unbroken. And so the tale of the alien bride did not end in tragedy, but in defiance, in strength, in a love that survived not just distance, not just difference, but the very weight of worlds. A love tested by Earth itself and found unshakable.